Good day, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. Starvation grips Gaza as aid collapses. The House shuts down over Epstein files. Trump calls Obama a traitor, and Obama fires back. And while America watches, immigration crackdowns tightens. This isn't just the news, it's what they don't want you to see. And we're going to be talking about Black immigrants and the so-called war that they impose, because foundational Black Americans have already invoked a level of delineation that they've never seen before. And that support that they once received is no longer exists. And believe me when I tell you this is not only going to be a good one, but this is going to be a very powerful one as well. So more than 100 aid and human rights agencies, including the MSF, Oxfam, Mercy Corps, warned that Gaza is ravaged by mass starvation. At least 111 people have died, with 80 children among them, and over 1,000 killed while trying to access food. The blockade is causing a full-blown famine, and even aid workers are going hungry. Israel denies responsibility, blaming distribution inefficiencies, while NGOs call for a ceasefire and full-fledged UN-led aid corridor. And there's no reason why these people shouldn't be receiving aid when you have over 100 agencies trying to provide some sort of resources, food and fresh water to these people who are not even part of Hamas. This is one of the most striking depictions of kid starvation in this day and time, where food is plentiful around the world. There should be no children starving at this level or at all. This is absolutely horrendous. And I hate to see children like this. This, again, reminds me of what I reported on yesterday of being a Washingtonian from Washington, D.C. and going to the Holocaust Museum as a teenager and remember some of the striking images of people looking just like this young boy here. This is very heart-wrenching, and no one in this day and age should ever go through anything remotely close to what a lot of these Palestinians are going through that are not even part of the terrorist group Hamas. So again, as we look at these depictions and pictures of people starving, and we're talking about hundreds of people have already died. Now, the UN confirms that 1,000 Palestinians have been shot and killed trying to reach humanitarian aid since May, deepening Gaza's crisis. And this heightens international outcry and raises questions over Israel tactics and U.S. military support. Again, this is why a lot of people, even from the right, are coming out against the starvation and the lack of aid that has been given to the citizens and residents of Palestine and Gaza that are not part of Hamas, the terrorist group. Now, we understand that Israel have every right to defend themselves. Israel had to fight to retaliate because of the terrorist attack that occurred in October a year ago, or I think it's almost been 2 years, I believe, or maybe it was a year ago, rather. But nonetheless, the innocent people of Palestine are the ones who are being tormented more so than the terrorist group. And I get it. The terrorist group are hiding amongst the civilians and regular people of Hamas. But again, we have to separate the two. And they may be saying we're trying to weed out Hamas, where in some regards, there's always innocent casualties during war. There's always innocent casualties. But when it comes to starvation and famine, that's a direct attack on innocent people, because aid is not being allowed to reach that region. So who's really being hurt? Who's really being weeded out, so to speak? But more to cover as more information comes out. And as I stated before, more than 100 aid right groups call for action as hunger spreads in Gaza. This should not be overlooked. This should be fairly investigated, and the UN should do something. They should force the hand of Israel. And in some regards, and you guys may disagree because I'm a red-blooded American, I love this country. In some regard, put pressure on America to put pressure on Israel so innocent people can receive aid. medical supplies, food supplies, fresh water, proper shelter, tents, sheets, pillow, some of the necessities of life. I know that we will all want that as well. Now, in other news, beyond the delay, the Epstein document controversy has paralyzed the House, stopping Rules Committee meetings and halting legislative action. Johnson defends his move as a way to protect victims and avoid media games, but Democrats cry out. Not only Democrats cry out, but MAGA has already cried out as well. But now they're shifting their tune. Yeah, folks, they're shifting their tune because now they want to go after another culprit. It states here that the Epstein fallout literally shut down the House early for summer. I wonder why. Are we getting close to the truth? Is the pressure amounting to the files being released? I'm just asking questions because, again, as the public, right, left, and all in between are pressuring the White House, is pressuring the Trump administration to release whatever files that you have. And as I told you before, these powerful expert investigators, they get a name, they get a location, they get any sort of beacon or indicator of misdoing or miswrong. They're going to take these cases like a dog with a bone, and they're going to drill down until they find the truth. And again, the truth may be nothing of what we could even imagine. Everybody could be exonerated. There's no powerful people that's a part of this Epstein list. I don't believe that, but it's possible. Anything is possible. But I believe that everybody at this point, there's only a few people who are deranged and insane that don't believe that something is going on with these Epstein files. There's something, someone, or some people, or some group that's a part of these Epstein files that must be very, very powerful, that not even the government wants this to be released. Now, backed by MAGA voices, Trump branded Obama as a traitor and demanded criminal charges. The controversy base has called for investigation. This attack is fueling racial and political tensions as Trump sharpened his combative message for 2026. So now he's going after Obama. Distraction, smoke and mirrors. Throw the rock, hide the hand. Folks, we're still on the Epstein files. Because here's the thing. America is a very powerful country with a lot of intelligent people that we can do more than one thing at a time. Look at this, folks. I'm talking and holding a water bottle. What does that mean? That means that you can go after Obama for his alleged misdoing and you can release the Epstein files. They keep giving us more things to focus on and distraction. Now, granted, if these so-called allegations of Obama trumping up evidence and or some sort of conspiracy that Trump and Russia, Trump and Putin, again, allegedly advised a way that Trump can get in office by persuasion from Russian cyber attacks and pushing propaganda on the American people to sway the vote from Hillary to President Trump, then so be it. Go and investigate it. If he did wrongdoing, then he should be incarcerated. But release those Epstein files. Release those Epstein file, folks. Don't let this get away from you guys. Because again, a lot of smoke and mirrors. This is what the American government has been doing for a very long time. Things that the American public want to be released, very nonpartisan, right? Conservatives, liberals, Democrats, Republicans, independents, the elephant party, the donkey party, whatever party you guys want to call, the green party, the white party, the purple party, the black party. I don't care what party, but the American people wants it released. At this point, okay, what is it going to prove if these files are released? Because if there have been innocent women being the R word harmed, or sexually abused or harassed, whether it be men in the same regards, and whether it be children that have been harmed sexually or mentally or even physically behind these Epstein files, then the American public should know, and those people should be prosecuted. That is why. That is why we shouldn't have people, very powerful people, as we know, have had a lot of conspiracy, a lot of conspiracy theories behind it, and a lot of egregious things have behind it. whether they're in politics or they're powerful billionaires or business owners, they should all be prosecuted to the full extent of the law if within these Epstein files find them guilty of alleged crimes. That is why. Because no rock should go unturned. And that we should know, because again, this is one of the pillars. This is one of the political campaign that President Trump ran on, and the American people voted yes. These are the things that we want. We want the MLK files released, which they were. And we're going to cover that probably on this evening broadcast or even tomorrow about the MLK. I need to read these files first, folks. But we're going to go through that as well, because they were released. A certain amount of them were released. But the Epstein files have not been released. I believe that the MLK Jr. files were released as another distraction. You see, all these things are going on at the same time. But the one thing that the American people have been harping on, like vampires to blood, are the Epstein files, and we still haven't seen those files just yet. Pam Bondi stated that there's hundreds of hours of files that the FBI is going through, and Kash Patel stated that there's nothing that we want in those files. Well, let us make the decision on that. Now, responding directly, former President Barack Obama slammed Trump's outrageous treason accusations as bizarre and politically motivated. His rare rebuttal aims to guard institutional integrity and hold Trump accountable. What's your accounts? What's your counter argument, Obama? Did you do this? Are you guilty of these alleged crimes? Because again, a lot of these empty comments that these politicians make, and let's just read a little bit here, because Barack Obama has broken his silence on calls from President Donald Trump for him to be prosecuted by unequivocally rejecting his successor's accusations that he tried to engineer a coup following Trump's 2016 election victory by manufacturing evidence of Russian interference. Obama took office the unusual step of issuing an emphatic refutation of Trump told reporters that his predecessor had tried to lead a coup against him and was guilty of treason over intelligent assessments suggesting that Russia had intervened to help Trump defeat Hillary Clinton in the campaign. Now, out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response. But these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Now, what's the distraction? The statement went on to criticize claims made in an 11-page document released last week by Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, who said she was passing evidence of what she claimed was a treasonous conspiracy among Obama national security officials to the Justice Department, recommending their prosecution. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 26th presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes, it said. Now, could this be possible? Because we do have reports that the likes of Steve Bannon and others were the fall guys for Trump that took on a lot of, again, the allegations that supposedly was on President Trump, but they stated or they alluded that they were the culprits. And then in turn, President Trump gave them a get out of jail free card because Steve Bannon is out and he's still very influential and he's still very rich. And again, I'm not looking at the guy's bank account, but what I'm saying is his status is still intact. So again, did Obama collude in a conspiracy of a coup to overtake President Trump so Hillary Clinton can be president, and by proxy, President Obama still being president? Or is Tulsi Gabbard and also General Flynn are colluding and creating evidence to propose as documents to say that President Obama did in fact collude with a coup to overthrow President Trump? I know that's a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen, but nonetheless, there's been so much going on in our government lately. You would think that we are second or third world country. Now, granted, there's always been levels of corruption in the American government, but the likes of this is unseen and like never before. And that is because a lot of things has been hidden from the American people. Now, granted, to President Trump, there has been more transparency, and the more transparency that we are witnessing, a lot of the transparency that we have seen, that we are looking at, is showing us that our government, no matter who's in charge, the liberals or the Republicans or the conservatives or the independents, is on shaky ground right now, folks. From the one big beautiful bill to the Epstein files, who knows what's truly going on? Now, with that being said, Trump has officially ramped up immigration enforcement with expanded border securities and broader ICE actions nationwide. And the policy shift is redefining the GOP's identity and fueling passionate debate, as if it should. And this is home because this goes right into my last segment, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that's it for your news, but I do have a hit piece for you that I really want to hop on very powerfully. And please excuse me, because we're about to turn really black here this morning to the likes that you've probably never seen here on Blacklogic, and it's because of the so-called Black diaspora wars. And it's solely against foundational Black Americans because we have decided to delineate. And that delineation has nothing to do with hate for our African and Caribbean and non-American Black immigrants. It has nothing to do with hate. It has everything to do with focusing on our goals, our struggle, our achievement, our success, our fight for reparations which are owed to us. And I know a lot of people who probably tune into this channel, you're not for reparations. That's okay. But this is for the Black non-American immigrants. This is what this message is for. And this is all stemming from a couple of videos, and I would like to say within the hundreds. But this one particular video has been going viral because of some of the language that she has spoken in this particular video. So we're going to listen in on just a little bit. And believe me, I have a response for this, as if a lot of people in this new Black media have responded in kind. And so will I. Listen in.
Haiti and Africa. If this meet your consent, since the Black American want to go to war, let's try, let's see. All of us that call out one day from work, all of us across the United States, all immigrants call out from work. Yes. If they want to go to war, let's see what they can prove.
May I chime in? If all of you guys take out one day from work all across America, Black Americans are not going to be mad. And matter of fact, we may go and try to get those jobs that were undercutted from us because of profit. The only people who are going to be mad are those business owners, and majority of them are not Black Americans when it comes to large businesses and businesses that you guys are essentially doing. Now, granted, there may be a very large gap in Uber rides, but other than that, Black Americans, we will take those jobs because they will have to pay us at least the minimum wage. But continue.
And also, all immigrants, like your businesses from all Black Americans, simple as that. Don't let them go into your grocery store. Don't let them go into your restaurant. Don't let them go into your salon. You want to go to war? We will. And also we can.
Wait. Okay, we don't need to go into any African, Caribbean, Black grocery stores. If there are any, there's probably a couple, okay? But we don't need to go in there. We can go to Kroger. We can go to Safeway, okay? We can go to Giant. We can go to Piggly Wiggly. We can go to Whole Foods. So again, you're in a country that you did not build, that you didn't even help to build. Foundational Black Americans built the very foundation of America. We built the first roads. We built the first railroads. We built the Capitol, the White House. We built the very infrastructure. Now, granted, the Chinese, they came along later to help build and finish out the railroads. The Irish came and the Italians came a little bit later to help build some of the buildings. And other groups have helped. but the very foundation, the first paving of the roads, the digging of the roads, foundational Black Americans. The first construction of houses and buildings, foundational Black Americans. The first railroads, foundational Black Americans. Look at the many inventions that we have made to advance civilization, not only in America, but for around the entire world. So don't come to America and tell us that you're going to stop working. Then guess what? Go back home and build up your own country. Now, granted, when I went to Africa, very lovely people. Ghanaians, very loving and nice people. When I went to South Africa, very loving and kind people. When I went to Kenya, very loving and kind people. But now, granted, looking at the phenotype of this particular person, she seemed as though that she derives from Nigeria. I have nothing against Nigeria. I actually have Nigerian friends. This is not to all African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants or non-Black American immigrants. But these are for those tethers. These are for those people with white supremacy ideology that Black Americans, and especially our women, because again, let me give you the hard mark of this video right here. This is stemming from Black American women, foundational Black American women getting tired of being cheated and robbed and violence posed upon them for people who look like them, but not from this country, speaking down and disrespectful toward them and cheating them. And now Black American women are stating that on August 1st of this year, 2025, that they're going to boycott all African, all non-Black American hair salon businesses, people who do hair, not food, not other businesses, just hair, because of the way they've been treated. And granted, they should have been doing this long time before. They should have been doing this for Asian nail shops as well. Now, granted, not all Asian nail shops are prejudiced and racist against Black Americans, but there's been enough to call in for a protest. But I think this is more egregious when you have people that look like you stating that there's some sort of African diaspora unity. Okay, there's some sort of Pan-Africanism connection, then turn up and look down at you as though you are less than, even though you're spending your hard working dollars with them. And you think there's some sisterhood, you think there's some brotherhood. And now the women are now delineating and going to Black American shop or houses to get their hair done. Because my wife knows how to do hair. Her sister knows how to do hair better than her. And then her nieces know how to do hair. And they're all foundational Black Americans. So believe me when I tell you this, we know how to braid hair. We know how to plait hair. We know how to cornrow hair. So again, there's enough of us, but maybe we just want to sit down for a couple of hours and a couple of 2 or 3 people do our hair. I mean, not me, but our women. But now they're delineating, but you're calling for war? You are extending this astronomically. Do you understand what you're doing? We are the ones who fought for all of these immigration and civil rights that you benefit from. You know what, President Trump? If they're not a foundation of Black America, then go ahead. Go ahead and go get them. Go get them. You want to have war? See, what you don't understand is that we live in a world of white supremacy. And America is one of the pillars of that. Not every white person in America is a white supremacist. There's really good white people. Don't get me wrong. And there's a lot of white people who are not racist. But when I tell you this, the systems that are in place, and the laws that are being made and the actions that are being executed. Believe me when I tell you this, if you guys continue on with this rhetoric, and again, this is not to all my African brothers and sisters and my Caribbean brothers and sisters, but for those who sound and talk like this about war and what about this, you're going to need us. And no. We've never needed anyone because we've always been survivors and fighters. Do you know who we are? Do you know who we are? Well, if you don't know who we are, then I'm here to remind you guys who we are and what we have done. Don't worry. I'll wait. But again, go ahead and continue.
And ask all our African doctors, boycott all Black American treatment. Like I said, You don't want to go to war with African. Trust me. We are 54.
Listen, first and foremost, before I go any deeper, I'm up here just burning the candle. I'm the candle. I'm a chocolate candle. I'm just burning my own candle. Listen, we don't want to go war with anyone. The thing about this, we never spoke this way. You guys want to go to war because of delineation, because now we're not backing you up. Now we're calling out your cosplaying. Because, yeah, a lot of you may be first generation America coming from immigrant families, and you speak the same lingo. You have enjoyed, and party within our culture. You've cosplayed for a very long time, and now we're calling you out. We're looking at first and last names. We're looking at phenotypes. We're looking at the things that you state and the way that you state them. We're looking at your alliances. We're pointing out that you are not a Black American. That, yeah, you may be an African American because that you were born in this country, but you're not a foundational Black America where your lineage derives back from 1719 to 1619 to 1526. We are foundational Black Americans. So the tough talk is not going to scare none of us. We've always been warriors. We've always been fighters. Even when we were chained and shackled, we were never obedient slaves. Now, to a certain degree, there had to get some people, some traitors, some red coats to persuade our people to stay shackled and chained for quite some times. But every now and again, you get a rider. You get somebody who's not falling for the manipulation of staying on plantations and working for free and dying as we're being raped and killed, hung, burned, and dismembered and fighting against our own kin. We are the warrior class of Africans that were brought over here in the 1500s. And for majority of us, we were already here. The explorers, the warriors, the fighters were already here before maybe 400,000 to 500,000 of Africans were brought over here, that we then had an ethno-genocide and became a new group of people. See, when we talk about the case of African American, foundational Black Americans, we don't associate ourselves with that term anymore. You guys can be African Americans. Elon Musk can be African American. Charlize Theron can be African American. We are foundational Black American. We are Americans. This is the flag that we represent. This is the flag that we rock. And when you don't understand this flag, we hit you with this flag. The Black heritage flag, the Black American heritage flag. And when you don't understand this flag, we hit you with this flag. And then when it get down to the nitty gritty and the down and the dirty, and you don't understand our power, you don't understand the Majar spirit, you don't understand our fight, we hit you with this flag. And we just keep hitting you and tell you who we are. And if you don't know who we are, this so-called war, that we didn't even call for, that we don't even want. But I will tell you this. If this is what you want, this is how you're going to go about it. Now, granted, she's the probably only one I've heard speaking like this. But I've heard people get very, very close to what she's stating. So again, the energy is there. And I know she does not speak for the entire African, Caribbean, non-Black American diaspora. I know she doesn't. But for those who she speaks for, this message is for you.
Whole freaking country. The population of African in the United States is more than your Black American population. Just so you know. That's the reason why 64% of the Democratic vote is immigrant. And out of that 64, 54 is Black.
Okay, you're right. Okay, let's take, for instance, let's entertain what she's stating, that 54% of the Black vote is immigrant and Good. Have you noticed a change in foundational Black Americans? And I didn't choose to wear red today, but we understand that conservatives are red and Democrats are blue. Now, granted, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just a foundational Black American speaking on truth and power. But lady, please miss us with that. Because we understand that the Democratic Party, which you guys probably don't understand, is the party of the KKK, is the party of Jim Crow. So you don't even understand the dynamics of America. You don't even understand the historical facts in the party you so-called represent, the white supremacists, that party that infused laws inside of America to subjugate Black Americans. What the hell are you talking about? Here's another thing. You know what? And instead of this so-called war, you know the one thing that she has not stated? You know, what if all us African and Caribbean immigrants, all us Black immigrants go back to our own country and rebuild our own countries because we have 50 some odd countries in Africa and build up our own country, become more powerful than the United States of America? Why haven't you said that? Why would you want to fight foundational Black Americans through protests, through, as you were stating, that you have all these people here? Why would you want a war against us in our country? Go back to your country and you don't have to war with anyone. Oh, well, your country and the fights and the struggles that you have made with the achievements have paved the way for me and my immigrant friends to come over here and benefit from your blood, sweat, and tears. So I don't want to go back after I fled from my country. I don't want to go back and build my own country with my own countrymen and women and then speak on a podium of power, No, I don't want to do that. I want to stay right here and fight you for your resources. I want to fight you for your opportunities. I want to undercut the job market and take depressed wages so you don't get jobs. The war has already started and you don't even know it. This is what you call economic apartheid, ladies and gentlemen. When you have people that look like you, that blend in like you, and the only thing they do is steal from you. The only thing they do is turn up their nose at you. The only thing they do is talk down to you as if they were better because they're from another country that they couldn't pave a way there for. We're still in our country. I'm going to let it play just a little bit more because, again, I'm going to put the link of this particular video in the chat so you guys can watch for yourself because I still have a lot more to say. Here we go.
So Black America, you don't want to go to war with us. At this point, I don't care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican, because the stupid Black Republicans that are being controlled by the white tea brought this up. And it seems to me that
what is she talking about? The Black stupid Republicans. I just interviewed Dr. Pamela Denise Long, who is a Black Republican, who is a very intelligent woman who wants rights and reparations for Black Americans. She's Republican. Is she stupid too? Is she listen to white tea? If all of us go back to our country, huh? If we, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just go right into this because I think it's very important. And you know what? Let me change my tune because let me be crystal clear. Pitting Black immigrants against Black Americans is not only unnecessary, it's profoundly destructive. It's a narrative that unravels the very fabric of our shared struggle and potential. Sound like a Pan-Africanist, do I not? That's Pan-African talk. Let me conjoin the two. Think of Black Maroons who centuries ago, ladies and gentlemen, who carved out free territories in the face of brutal enslavement. And if you fast forward to Nat Turner, who rose up in 1831 against very unimaginable injustice, even at the cost of his life, to assert Black humanity. And that's when Nat Turner just went on a rampage from plantation to plantation, killing folk. Then there's the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Party. fighting systematic violence, establishing free health clinics, breakfast club, legal aid, all within the boundaries of nonviolent resistance. These are not footnotes in history. They define us, a so-called war between us, the foundation of our country. That's the enemy's hope, sister. Divide and conquer. It's betrayal of every battle our ancestors bled for. You have to understand that foundational Black Americans, we built this land. We built this land. Black scientists, engineers, and legislators fought fiercely for civil rights. The 1964 Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, these laws didn't just liberate Black Americans, they opened the doors for Black immigrants to stand equally before the law. Without those victories, many of us, no matter our birthplace, would have no rights at all. So let's not forget our Black entrepreneurs, our creators, and community organizers who risk everything to build the economies, the so-called opportunities that you guys benefit from, and the neighborhoods we still champion. These pathways were hard for all of us. You're gonna stop working for one day? That's the argument? Oh, really? Okay, as I said, I want to conjoin the two. Yeah. I want to conjoin the two. So I want to change my tune, ladies and gentlemen, because I think it warrants this. Because that little segment, was it a minute? I really wanted to drive home that unity. But since you're on some war type shit, let's get this straight. We are not the same. We are foundational Black Americans. Have you heard me? We are foundational Black Americans, descendants of American chattel slavery, built this country from the blood-soaked soil up. Our ancestors fought through chains, plantation, lynch mobs, Jim Crow, and COINTELPRO. And through it all, we didn't just survive, we pioneered. From the Black Maroons who escaped waged guerrilla warfare, to Nat Turner, who led revolts in the face of certain death, to the Black Panther Party and Black Liberation Army, who fed our people and fought militarized policing. We are a people born of resistance. We are a people born with a fight. We are a people born with a warrior spirit that flows in our DNA. And we never need to be told how to fight for dignity. We wrote the damn blueprint. Martin Luther King didn't just march and bled so immigrants could come here and turn around and call us lazy and call us Akatas and call us Urias. Rosa Parks didn't sit on the bus so y'all could hop off the plane and start talking sideways to us. No. None of them did that. For you guys to come up here and call us all sorts of names as though you are better because you fled to a country and didn't build your own. We didn't get gifts. We fought for every single thing that we have today, and it's still not much. Some of y'all come to this country and adopt white supremacist talking points to fit in. You call us lazy and criminal and uneducated. You mock our slang, our struggle, and even our style while you still enjoying it and the benefits therein. Then turn around and emulate us in music and culture and fashion, and then turn around and state that when you get on top, that, hip hop was influenced by African immigrants. Twerking was influenced by African immigrants. Afrobeats or this and that, not saying that we created Afrobeats, but this was inspired from Caribbeans. Whatever the case may be. Again, that's not assimilation, that's betrayal. During Juneteenth, you guys were having African and Caribbean parties. That's disrespectful. It amazes me how many people from these other Black countries, and again, these are not for the non-tether class. This is for the tether class. This is for the tether class. Because you want to be in proximity to whiteness, fine. But don't climb over our legacy and spit on the hands that built the ladder. Let's address the nonsense. If immigrants left for a day, the country would collapse. That's funny because for 400 years, this economy thrived on foundational Black American backs. We were the industry: cotton, tobacco, sugar, steel. built off the unpaid labor of Black Americans. If Black immigrants disappeared, the system would groan. If FBA disappeared, the country would collapse. We don't want violence. We just simply have invoked a level of delineation that has never been seen before. Clear culture, political, and economic boundaries so we can support ourselves without disrespect. But don't mistake our silence for softness. Our history is soaked in rebellion. Our whole history lets you know that we are a rebellious class. We are a rebellious class. We are not the so-called step in line Negroes. There's always going to be, if it's 10 Negroes chained up together, it's always going to be 3 or 4 not trying to go the same way that the massa wants us to go. And as we motivate and educate and infuse the other 6 or 7 who are still step in line, there's an energy, there's a spirit, the Majar spirit, the Ogun spirit that gets inside of us, and we just ready to fight. They don't listen. The tether class of the so-called African Caribbean diaspora, the tether class, not you guys, not the guys who blend in and just want to have partnerships and brotherhoods and sisterhood with Black Americans and understand what we've done. Not you guys, but your damn tether class. Oh Lord, your tether class. As I stated, our history is soaked in rebellion. Harriet Tubman carried out a shotgun. Robert F. Williams told us to arm ourselves, Black gangs, for all the stigma. Listen, for Black gangs, for all the stigma were originally formed for protection. The Bloods and Crips were formed for protection for their neighborhoods. We didn't start violence, but we'll never shy away from defending what's ours. Supporting Black-owned FBA businesses, thumbs up. Pushing for reparation, 2 thumbs up. Protecting our culture, that's not divisiveness. That's preservation. And if you feel threatened by our focus, ask yourself why. I want a lot of these people who come out and make these videos that are anti-Black American, even though we make a lot of videos about delineation, we're calling out the racist and prejudice nature of a lot of non-foundational Black Americans who may look like us, dress like us, talk like us because they've been here a generation or two. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Because we want to support our own businesses. Ask yourself why we're pushing for reparations for the unpaid labor that our ancestors had in this country. Ask yourself why that we want to protect our culture and educate the world of the achievements and that foundational Black Americans, we are the culture. Look at the world. We're the most influential group. Not saying that we're better, we're just different. And if you feel threatened by our focus, ask yourself why. Because truthfully, if you respect the house you walked into, America, if you respect this house, we wouldn't be having this conversation. See, you talking about Whitey. Yeah, she brought up Whitey with the Democratic Party because she's a Democratic shield, seems to be. This lady. And this is for her and people like her. This is what you want? See, again, I only told you about our warrior class. I only told you about our fighting class. I only told you about the struggles. And we still thrive and we still strive because we will not just die. We won't just get up and die. We won't let somebody come to our country that we are the majority of and colonize our minds. Think about how pro and impactful and empowerment Black Americans are in a country where they're the 3rd population. We're only about 14.5%. Listen, I know 13.4% have been revolving. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're around 14.5%, almost 15%. Now, I don't want to get into eugenics, AKA birth control, AKA abortion. I don't want to get into that because that really decreased our numbers. But we're still around 14.5%, almost 15%. So again, Black Americans never called for war. Black Americans never called for total protest of non-Black American business when it comes to the African and Caribbean and non-Black American immigrants. We never called for that. Our women were tired of being disrespected. Our women were tired of being mistreated. Our women were tired of going through controversies, going to a lot of these African hair braiding salons and hair braiding places. And they just got sick and tired of it. So now they are protesting August 1st against it because they want to be treated fairly. They want equal price. They want fair pricing and they want fair treatment. They don't want people speaking the other language talking down to them and speaking nasty to them. This is why. So this is all behind hair that she's come out and said this, in my opinion. Now, granted, the rumblings, the energy have always been there. And now finally someone blew the top. But I can tell you this. Listen, all the Black gangs that we have today, I want you guys to think about something. Whether it be the Bloods and Crips, the Black Mafia family, the GDs, the Black Aces, gangs in DC and Chicago and Philadelphia and Florida. I can go on and on and on. The war you talking about? I'm not going to say it. But I think you already know what I'm getting to.